What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men of all ages. Not just for men, it's for girls too. What's up, guys? This is SSW. Yeah, that's what it is. NSFW, Not Safe for Wrestling Podcast, with your host, Obi-Wan. We got the Yacht Club down on in that corner, and we got JayStunZ down on that corner. What's up, guys? How you guys doing today?
Fine.
That was
doing pretty good.
That was a hell of an intro, wasn't it? That was a heck of an intro.
You mean you went through the alphabet?
Yeah. Going, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But guys, this is episode 1. And as we're going to, we'll get other stuff and things going. But we have all our cameras up so you guys can see us all. We're all kind of just, we're doing this. We're going to be putting this exact video up on YouTube as long as the sounds and everything are okay with it. And then we're going to be taking the audio and uploading it to TuneIn Radio. Is going to be the first one that you guys can go ahead and get now. Get on your phones, your computers, anywhere you can get podcast information. So, okay, guys, my name is Obionex2. To this podcast is basically it's a roundtable discussion where multiple people can join. If you're interested in wrestling, we primarily talk about NSF, or not NSFW, but WWE. Once we get into the mode of things where we can easily access AEW and other shows and other companies, we'll then begin to talk in a little bit about that. But this first podcast, this first intro or pilot episode, if you would call it, it's just introductions, and we're going to talk about a little bit of the takeover Portland, and we're going to be talking about Super Showdown that is going to be happening here in the next few weeks. So we do want to get them out of the way real quick, just because it's one of those things where people help us out, so we want to shout them out. We do want to shout out, of course, Nameless Family. You guys know myself and Yacht Club, soon to be him too. But we're all, but we do want to shout out.
Have a name.
We do want to shout out Nameless Family because we love you guys. You guys help us out in any way, shape, or form that you guys can, and we really appreciate you guys. And one more, Beard Bean Coffee Company. You guys hear me say it on my stream all the time. If you guys are into wanting some good coffee, get your favorite coffee from around the world. Some of the best coffee from around the world. It's grade A coffee. Go get it. Use the code OB10 and you get 10% off your entire order. No matter if you use merch or just coffee or grinders or whatever. Everything. But what about you guys? You guys have any shout-outs? Any more shout-outs we want to get through?
Not today, no. Not right now.
I want to shout out my mama. But we have. What about you, Jay?
Just friends and family to always supporting. There's too many to name, and not a group name to just name out in general. There's just so many people around. I had to quickly remove my cheap plug because I'm not promoting anything I'm not getting paid for. So got to promote bottled water by no specific brand. So
drink it with both my hands up.
Chill, bro.
But what we're going to do first is, if one of you guys want to start, what we're going to do first, guys, is we're going to introduce ourselves more and what we do and what we like to do on the outside of gaming plus gaming-wise. Bo, do you want to start or get yours out of the way?
Nah, that's fine. I go by the Yacht Club Bodie. I stream a variety of different games. You can catch me on Twitch a lot of times. I hang out with a lot of people. Nameless Family, Obi, Jay. You can find me pretty much anywhere. Just look for me.
Definitely. Jay, what about you, buddy?
My name's JayStunZ. I pretty much go known by Jay or Stunzy to a lot of people. Stream on Twitch is JayStunZ, and either JayStunZ or the pizza guy, because everybody knows I love me some pizza. My logo's pizza, and that's pretty much it.
Besides the name, he has choice 4-letter words. that
yes,
he's called too. But we won't
the
name
raging
those.
Italian. I am the raging Italian. I will call myself an a-hole at times. See that I censored.
Mm-hmm.
I am the biggest a-hole you know, but I am the nicest guy you know. Do not get on my bedside because you will not like.
Here's kind of like a couple other people I know too. So, just saying. That's all. But guys, I'm Obionex2. You guys can find me. I'm on Twitch. We're getting YouTube going. We're getting, of course, the podcast going. And you guys can find me in the dark side, the Dark Side Nation over on Discord, and of course, a lot of all things affiliated with Dark Side. Of course, you guys do see Yacht Club, his kids getting ready in the background, like they're all getting ready to get out of here. So be patient with the sound, guys. We're gonna try to level it all out so it's not too loud for you guys. But let's get started in here. That's kind of the introductions. Do you guys want to point out anything else? I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to waste time a little bit so that Yacht can get his house cleared out, so he can actually talk without having to not be able to think while kids are screaming beside him. So
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in, has a passion for wrestling, whether they hate it or love it, or stuff that's going on in it, feel free to hit one of us up and be like, hey, I want to be a guest on the podcast, because we could always use people to talk. We could always bounce ideas or predictions or reactions or potential news or spoilers, whatever the hell you want to call them. We can talk about anything. So if you feel you want to talk with us, just hit us up.
definitely, that's anybody. That's myself, JayStunZ, or the Yacht Club. Because this is I'm not the host, and these are, guests or anything. We're all three of us are co-hosts. We all work on the show notes together. We all talk about what we're going to talk about. So anybody you guys want to join, by all means, we're going to have guest spots, and we're going to be live certain times. Depending on who's kind of running the podcast that week, if it's, whatever, we might be on, JayStunZ stream or a Twitch, or we might be on Yacht Club's Twitch, or whatever wherever we're going to be, we'll send you guys there. We'll make sure you guys are notified. So, but most of the information when it comes to the podcast will be put right on the Dark Side Nation Discord. So, but guys, we're going to be trying. That's good. Sounds good. We're going to try to make the podcast as interesting as possible for you guys, but at the same time, not make it just a long discussion. We're going to try to make it to where we're going to be about an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes or so, somewhere in that point, to where we can make sure we say as much as we need to say, but at the same time, it's not boring the living crap out of you, because we don't want to do that. We want you guys to be ready for the whole thing. Now, keep in mind, guys, we are going to be doing giveaways and all that other stuff on the podcast too. So, and that's when we're going to be live. So you want to be at the live shows so you guys can win, video games. You guys can win, free sound bits from me if I decide to give some of those away or whatever. So there's chances for you guys to win a lot of stuff while we're at a live show. Stay tuned for those dates. They're TBA, to be announced. I had to remember what A was standing for.
To be enunciated.
Yeah, so, but we will let you guys know that, of course, and again, that'll be all in a public room in the Dark Side Nation, so you don't have to click anything for that. Side note, we're going to be getting on side notes on this one, too. Either all three of us have anything to do with our communities or Discord, we're going to put that out on here, too. So if Yacht Club's doing something, he's scheduling something or doing whatever, he's going to put that out. Same thing with JayStunZ and myself. So, side note on that one, guys, if you're in my Discord, you're in the Discord, and you're in the Dark Side Nation, you guys have to do me a favor. Okay, yes, I said flavor. Do me a favor. Go to the welcome room, read it real fast. Takes 2 seconds. And then go down to the bottom. That's the next channel below it. It says self roles. Go pick your roles. There are so many people in Discord right now that are not picking their roles, and they can't see the channels that we're in. So they think nobody's here. We're all here. We're here all the time. So there's a sidebar. Anyway.
And chances are nothing will be posted or announced about my Discord, because my Discord is private and only select people have the ability to be in it. If I feel like inviting people, I'll let them know. Otherwise, nothing's going to be posted on my Discord.
Yep. So, like I said, most of the information will be in the Dark Side Nation. And so here in a second here, we're going to have the whole thing up in a second to where we're going to be starting about and getting into the main event. 1 second, guys. We'll be right back with that. Boom. Anyway, it's not going to work out this way. We're gonna have to. I got to figure out a way to where I can play some music to where these guys can hear it, because I'm thinking of post-production and how I'm going to do this, and it's not working. But anyway, the main event for you guys tonight is NXT TakeOver Portland. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't watch NXT, and I understand that. But we're just going to skim over it, kind of go over it. We want to make sure that we hit at least every single pay-per-view that WWE puts out, which NXT is one of those. NXT UK is another one of those, but all I know is Walter. That's it.
You've got me beat on that one. I don't even know that. So
Walter's the NXT champion over there, and he's the leader of a group. That's it. A leader of a group that totally whipped the US or the NXT brand's butt. Anyway,
Dude, you say Walter, I think of Jeff Dunham with Walter the Puppet.
I don't give a. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
he's the old guy.
Yeah, he's the old guy. But NXT Championship, guys, we have two of them. We have women's and men's. We also have the North American Championship and the Tag Team Championships. For the most part, we're going to be talking about the main rosters with Raw and SmackDown. But we will be, like I said, we will be touching into the NXT and so on and so on. You know, we could even at one point in the show start talking about
AEW and all that.
right, but other stuff on WWE, like, you know, the Miz's show,
The dirt sheet, you mean?
the Miz and Mrs., you know, kind of things like that. But we can make it fun.
Ms. and Mrs. Total Divas, AEW, TNA, ASW, ASPCA, all that.
USPCA.
Okay, maybe not the last one.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about animals for?
I mean, you see some of the way these guys look, right?
You got a point.
But anyway, NXT champion Adam Cole over the past few weeks, and I'm just going to go over all this, and they can tell you guys what they think about it. Because they don't watch NXT and I do, so yay me. NXT champion Adam Cole is going to be facing up against Tommaso Ciampa. What do you guys think about that match? You guys know those guys? Can you guys deliberate on any?
I've really not followed it enough to know what each one brings to the table, really.
Okay.
To be honest, the last time I watched them was War Games, and I believe it was a team led by Adam Cole and a team led by Ciampa. And Tommaso Ciampa does some insane stuff in the ring, so I'm going Ciampa on that one. Plus, I really like his theme song.
Yeah, no one will survive. If you guys have watched the YouTube videos, we got that going too. But anyway, Adam Cole, I'll give you guys a little thing. Adam Cole, of course, is the leader of the group. Undisputed Era has been for a while, which is Fish, O'Reilly, and who's the other guy?
Roderick Storm.
Yeah, Roderick Storm is that group, and they're a pretty dominating group. They went up against the group, whatever, from NXT UK. But he's one of those guys where it's like, whenever he says his name, the rest of the crowd goes baby, because that's his whole thing, Adam Cole baby. But Tommaso Ciampa, I think he's gonna win this one. Reason being is because he never lost Goldie, and Goldie, from his point of view, Goldie has been calling his name and telling him to save her. Yeah, her. Yep. I'm just telling you what Ciampa said. That's all. But I think Ciampa's gonna win that one too.
To be 100% honest, though, I think I'm pulling for Ciampa, obviously, but I think they're going to keep the title on Adam Cole because they're not going to bring the Undisputed Era up yet. They want to bring them all up together, and I don't think the other guys are in a place to be fully brought up to the main roster yet. So I think they'll leave the title on him and maybe start the process of bringing up Ciampa.
Okay, well, I don't think that's it at all, because Roderick Strong already doesn't have his title, right? Keith Lee has it. I think they're going to let Ciampa win it, Goldie comes home. That's the whole thing they've been talking about. And then the Broserweights are going to beat the living crap out of the Undisputed Era. So none of them's going to have championships. So they all get called up at the same time within the next few weeks. My opinion. And it just makes sense.
If you look at it that way, though, if the 4 of them come up and they stay the dominant 4 that have been in NXT, what 4 people up there right now can go against them? The only faction close to them would be the Lucha House Party, and they don't stand a chance.
The Messiah, Monday Night Messiah, could go up against them in AOP, with Murphy, and then I mean, you can stick people together. I mean, once Xavier Woods gets released, I mean, you got the New Day. That's a threesome that can pretty much dominate a lot of the teams out there. You stick that with whoever they're going to really piss off, because they're going to piss off at least 1 or 2 that's going to band with a tag team. That's just how it works. That's when you have a 4-person group and you have 2 of them that are solo and then 2 that are as a team, a tag team's going to have some problems with them at one point. I see the Usos or maybe the AOP having an issue, which then will bring in Seth Rollins and Murphy for the other 2. I don't know, my opinion anyway.
The problem is you bring in AOP, you already got Seth, because Seth is a part of AOP now. He's pretty much the leader of it.
Right. But I'm saying if they start something with AOP, right? Because you could have AOP's not going to just be Seth's lapdogs forever. They're going to get pushed. That's why they're with him, right? So if they're going to get pushed already, and you get them going against somebody that's got a swing going, like, I mean, Undisputed Era has a swing going. Like, they are on the rise right now, which even if they lose their titles, their popularity is through the roof.
Yeah, but they're on the rise in NXT. If you bring them out to a main roster and make them get punked out right away, it's destroying them.
Yeah, but they won't get punked out right away. I mean, I don't really think they would.
They'll let it run for a while with him up there, and if they bring him up, they'll let him run for it and then kind of knock him down a peg or 2.
Well, I mean, that's what happens to everybody, honestly.
Yeah, and then if they do that, if they do let it run its course, then they're going to make AOP and Seth and Murphy look bad. So either way, those 2 going against each other would just be a horrible idea. Eventually, when everything cools down, yeah, it would be a great thing to see. But starting right now, how they're trying to build AOP as dominant and Undisputed Era is dominant, no.
They would put Undisputed Era on SmackDown. That's where they would put him if they moved him up at all. They would put him on SmackDown because the AOP, quote unquote, the Messiah's crew is not. They're not ready for the Undisputed Era. Not in storyline mode.
Then you'd be looking at New Day or Roman Reigns and the Usos or Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode.
I mean,
or Otis Tucker and Mandy Rose.
Elimination Chamber is coming up. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
By the way, shout outs to my boy Otis.
There's too many things that can go on and go wrong with anything that we would say right now. But anyway, next match coming up: NXT Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I'm gonna start out with Ripley's gonna keep it. Because now they're slotting, it's already been told. Like, if they would have waited a couple more weeks for Charlotte to start her deal with Ripley, but now saying that Charlotte wants to battle Ripley for the tag, even if she doesn't do it, but I don't know. I think Ripley's going to keep it regardless against Bianca. And then they're going to say, Bianca, you had your chance, suck it up. Because she was never given a chance in the first place. Right?
I agree.
So, go, yeah. You want to say something? I know you do.
I want to, but it depends on how they push Charlotte. Are they gonna push Charlotte to go for the NXT title though, or are they gonna let her go back for the main roster title?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's gonna challenge for the NXT. I believe she's gonna be challenged for the NXT title. But the thing with it is like, it's kind of a waste match at WrestleMania. It'll be a great match, I'm sure, but it's a waste match nonetheless because they're not going to have Charlotte go back to NXT. They're not. She's too big on the main roster. They're not going to bring her down to NXT. The last person they brought down was who?
Kevin
Leo
Owens.
Rush. Well, he came down for that one time, and that was it. He didn't
Finn
stay there.
Balor.
True.
Finn
Balor
Balor.
and Leo Rush. That was it. And Finn Balor was going nowhere on the main roster. So they brought him back to NXT, and now what? You never hear about him unless it's some hype match or something. So Rhea Ripley will retain a title against Belair. She'll retain a title at WrestleMania against Charlotte, and then that's it. Because it's doesn't make sense to have Charlotte Flair on NXT. You're gonna bring Rhea Ripley up, fine, but then Charlotte is too big to be on NXT.
Okay. That's understandable. You got anything to add, yeah?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, why bring her down to something that's going to step her down from where she started? I mean, she's come into WWE and basically defeated everybody. Yeah, she gets unlucky sometimes and gets beat, but I don't think they're going to bring her.
I don't think she gets unlucky. The writers just say, hey, you can't be too popular. My opinion, anyway. But next one coming in, and now this has been a match that has been in the making because of how much they've been interacting in the past. But Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. What you think, Jay?
To be honest, I'm probably gonna go Johnny Gargano simply because there's no doubt he's talented, but there's just something about Finn Balor I do not like. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about his character I just really don't like. So I'm gonna go Gargano.
As a heel, right? Like, as a heel,
just in
Finn
general,
is bad. Like, Finn is not a heel. I just don't really see him as a heel. He was a great heel in Japan. He was an awesome heel in Japan, but he had, what, 4 other members in the Bullet Club in the beginning? So, I mean, he could be that heel. Well, him solo being a heel is just bad. It's just terrible. But I see Johnny Gargano winning it, too, because Johnny is the face of NXT. Sorry, it is. He's been all over. I mean, he may not be the face. I mean, Keith Lee, whoop, Keith. He's probably, more of a face than any of those two combined right now, just because he's the champ.
The only thing I can see is some way Ciampa interferes in Gargano's match or Gargano interferes in Ciampa's match to keep that rivalry going, and then the loser gets brought up.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, speaking of Keith Lee and the man Dominic Dijakovic, which has been on a huge, massive run, going through superstar after or when I say superstar, but going after star after star after star after star through NXT on his way to the championship. And you guys that have watched it, you'll see that Keith Lee and Dijakovic they're kind of friends, sorta, kinda. Where they're friends, but like, hey, I'm taking that championship, and he's of course Keith Lee with that little smirk he's got, it just says, okay, big boy, let's go at it. And it's kind of like a friendly rivalry. Do you guys think that rivalry is gonna get to where it's not friendly anymore?
I do.
Yeah, I could see it happening because you can only, in this business, you can only be friends for so long.
Right.
Until finally it's either, hey, I'm going to take this the next step forward and turn on you, or the other person's going to. It happened back with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What did Kevin do? He powerbombed him on the side and went to the main roster. So it's going to happen sooner or later with him, I'm sure.
What about you, Jay?
I can see the match going as they wanted to, friendly and all that other stuff. But when I believe Keith Lee wins, by the way, but when Keith Lee wins, Dominic's just going to be really upset at the fact that he lost, and it's going to, Keith Lee's going to go, it's going to be the usual thing. He's going to try to shake his hand. He's going to shake and then turn into like some sort of a move and set up the new rivalry.
So a heel turn? Because they're
Yeah,
both
so.
faces right now.
Yeah, I think Dominic will wind up turning heel, and then they'll work a little storyline thing back and forth, and then Keith Lee will finally drop it to Dominic, and Keith Lee will move after WrestleMania.
Okay, so he'll lose it. You think he's calling it? Are you calling that? Is that like an official Jay call or what?
I think so. I think it's going to be an official call where Dominic will beat Keith Lee for the North American title, and then Keith Lee will be brought up to the roster probably the Raw after WrestleMania.
So is that like a rumor, or is that like a
Nope, just something I'm thinking.
is that a Paul Heyman what does he
A
say?
Paul Heyman spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
I mean,
Could be.
sure, why not? I mean, he said the spoiler was going to be Brock Lesnar winning the title, and that didn't happen. So why not? I'll say Jay spoiler is that Keith Lee will be brought up to the main roster of the Raw after WrestleMania.
Okay. I think the Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic match is going to be great. For as big as Keith Lee is, well, big as both of them are. Dijakovic's like 6'6", Keith Lee's 6'3", 6'4", but he's also 300 plus, 285, 290. And the way they move, like they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I do think, though, Keith Lee's going to take this match this first, so he actually has, that's a second, would be a second retain, I believe. And then it's going to keep going, like Jay said, and it's just going to turn into something really nasty where one of them, either Keith Lee or Dijakovic, has a heel turn. Which, I can see it. I can see one of them. Dijakovic would probably pull it off a little bit better anyway. What about you, Yacht?
I really haven't seen enough between them to judge which one's going to go which way. I mean, we'll see what happens.
That is the official word of the Yacht Club. Little Dingy.
Yep.
I was gonna put
Little Dingy.
I was gonna put Little Dingy on your name, but I was like, you might get upset with that. So,
Oh, hey, that'll work.
The next one coming up is NXT Championships, Undisputed Era versus the Broserweights. I've already told you guys what I think. The Broserweights are going to take it just because NXT, the Undisputed Era is getting cocky. Too cocky.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Who exactly is the Broserweights?
The Broserweights is the original bro. Hey, bro. You know who it is.
Okay,
It's the guy that comes
you
out
don't
in
have to tell me
flip-flops.
anymore. I'm pulling for Undisputed Era because I cannot stand Matt Riddle.
It's Matt Riddle and the Bruiserweight from the UK.
I will stick with the Undisputed Era because I cannot stand Matt Riddle.
Hey, bro. I love Matt
Well,
Riddle.
he pretty much answered this question then.
What about you, Yacht?
I don't know. I've not followed NXT enough to know how they work together. How does both teams work together that when they fight, is it going to be, well, I'm a bigger superstar than you on this one than that one? I just don't know how it's going to last.
Okay. Well, you'll have to start watching that, though. But
Yeah,
the last
I will.
one, now the last one.
Hold on. I will say this, though. I've heard from my source that Matt Riddle is in some serious heat backstage. So I would not be surprised if Undisputed Era wins this fight strictly because of that. Because I've heard that's why Matt Riddle was eliminated from the Rumble so quick. As just to get in and get thrown out because this is like your punishment thing because you're basically being a butthole. So I heard he's got some serious heat going, and that's why he was thrown out quick. And I don't think he's going to win the title strictly because of that.
Okay. Possible stuff going in the background Vince is not happy with. Or Triple H is not happy with. Which, still Vince. Who are we kidding? Anyway,
Yeah.
Now this last match, guys, has been stemmed from Survivor Series, where it's Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox. Basically, they were on the same. No, yeah, it was Survivor Series, right? Yeah, War Games. So it was NXT War Games where Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox were on the same team. Dakota Kai got pulled out of the cage beforehand, and then immediately just went and just started beating the heck out of Tegan Nox, using the cage, ripping her knee brace off, hitting her with it, just beating the living crap out of her. So it's been going for the last 2 months. So, and that's going to be a straight-up street fight. Falls count anywhere, street fight, which is going to be great. 2 chicks going at it like that. Whew. Yes. Obi gives you a thumbs up. What do you think, Yacht? If you can stop laughing for a second. No.
Yeah, if I can stop laughing long enough. I mean, I caught bits and pieces of it. It's literally gonna be a street fight. It's gonna be knockout drag out basically. It's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Jay, what do you think?
Dakota all the way. I've been really impressed from what I have seen from Dakota Kai, so I'm gonna stick with.
Okay. So now that is NXT, guys. We are gonna come back to this topic here in 2 weeks when we come back. But we're going to talk about Super Showdown. Super Showdown is going to be I totally spaced on when they are, which my fault because I closed the window. But Super Showdown is going to be happening about a week after
It's the
Portland.
27th, I believe.
Hold on, I'll give you more answer.
I have it right here.
I'm pretty sure it's the 20th.
Yep. Portland is going to be February 16th, and then February 27th, the following week, is going to be Super Showdown. So we're doing both of these in once. But when we come back here in 2 weeks, we'll actually give you, who won, and then talk about a little bit more about the Super Showdown and what had happened there too. So for right now, we only have a little bit of time. We only have a little bit of stuff planned or what the matches that are in. But we should, because we're going to be back on the 22nd, so then we're going to be talking about Super Showdown, which is on the 27th, which is on a Thursday. And I believe it's like 9 a.m. or noon or something like that, East Coast time, because it's in Saudi Arabia.
It's normally around noon, yeah. They start it weird at that time.
So, but let's get into it, guys. Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. First one we got going on is Bray Wyatt. Yeah, my homie. Versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. What? Does anybody want to start on this? Because I'm still in awe of even the match in the first place.
And all you have to do is get him out. There is no reason for Goldberg to be challenging for the Universal title at Super Showdown. I don't care if he's a legend. It's pointless. You made him come in and destroy Brock Lesnar for his title. Fine, whatever. I don't care. But you're building Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend, to take a crazy amount of damage and be hurt the entire match, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, not feel pain. And you're going to put him up against Goldberg, who destroyed the Beast, who's randomly going to get destroyed by The Fiend now. And then if you make Goldberg somehow win, you're destroying everything you've tried to do with Bray Wyatt again. This will be the second time they've killed off the Bray Wyatt character they tried building. So, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt will win this match, but it's a gigantic waste of time to even have.
Yacht Club, what do you think?
After watching what happened on SmackDown and Raw this week, I don't see how they let Goldberg win. As much as everybody loves Goldberg and how much he can come and beat everybody, I don't see them letting him win just to turn around at WrestleMania and maybe fight The Undertaker and then lose.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? I don't see that happen.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. My first opinion on this match itself is just kind of like what Jay said. Why? What is the point of bringing him into this? Is it not? I mean, what happened? I thought Daniel Bryan was supposed to. Is that's WrestleMania, right?
Don't know. We haven't heard what's the next step for Daniel because he got his ass kicked at the last one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't like. I really feel like the Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt war kind of just stopped. Like
That's basically what they've done. He lost it. Now it's like, okay, well, we're gonna shift and send him on this route now instead of keep fighting Daniel Bryan for right.
But I mean, I'm sorry, but some of the fights with Daniel Bryan and him were amazing. I'm sorry.
Pretty good, yeah.
I don't know. Goldberg's not gonna win it. I don't know why he's coming in and doing it. Maybe it's just because it's a legend thing and people want to see it happen.
The draw of the legend in Saudi Arabia is definitely a driving factor behind it. Having the legend there is definitely the driving force. There's no doubt about it. But we all know that when Elimination Chamber comes up, 4 other people will be announced, but we know 2 of them will most likely be Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. And one of those 2 will be your winner to face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania for his title.
If it's Roman Reigns, I quit. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns is way overbooked.
Honestly, I feel that's what it's going to be. I'm not even going to.
I just feel Roman Reigns is way overbooked. Like, they're trying to push him to be that face, that new John Cena, which is not working by any means. I just don't see it. I don't. Let's get on to the next. What'd you call it, Jay? Squash match. Brock Lesnar.
It's going to be a total repeat of Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. It's going to be a total repeat.
Brock Lesnar, which is the champion, versus Ricochet. Now, I know Brock Lesnar and Ricochet's had some run-ins in the past, but in the last 2 weeks, have they really had a problem? Like, they haven't even talked to each other. Why is it all of a sudden he's getting a match? Is it for the championship?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, didn't he come to Raw after Ricochet won the Fatal 4-Way and F5 him? I believe he did. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, he did.
But other than that, what has it been? It's been he kicked him in the crotch and allowed Drew McIntyre to get him out of the Royal Rumble. It's going to be a complete squash match. Lesnar's going to, do his beatdown thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet's going to all of a sudden get advantage, do a couple of crazy moves to get the crowd excited, and then just when you think he's going to beat them, Brock's going to just rip him up and destroy him, and that's it. It's going to be the same thing, just like Finn Balor.
It's going to be like anything that faced Lesnar other than Goldberg, but you got to look. When he won the title from Kofi Kingston, what did he do? He come in, hit him with 2 F5s, and it was done. He doesn't stand a chance. That's the problem with it.
Okay. I don't really have anything to say. I just think it's a waste of a show appearance. I know Brock Lesnar needs to go in there, but have him do some stuff of maybe it's one of the fights before. I don't even know. I can't even explain. I mean, I would book this so much different. We'll get a chance. I'll give you guys a chance here in a minute to how would you book it kind of thing. But we're gonna keep going here. The SmackDown Tag Team SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The New Day versus John Morrison and The Miz. Right off the bat, yes, The New Day is amazing. They still are up, they're like top 2 or 3 in popularity still. I mean, just they're just, it's The New Day. You can't mess with success since they've had this kind of success. But I really feel like John Morrison and The Miz is going to win the championships. And then The New Day is going to get them back here, post WrestleMania or at WrestleMania.
I agree for a different reason.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I believe that with the way they're pushing The Miz after how he lost to Bray Wyatt and how Daniel Bryan was the one that got the shot instead of The Miz and this and that, and the people were booing him, and Morrison came back to console his friend and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. New Day will lose the titles to Miz and Morrison, and I believe that eventually, I don't know if it's going to be right away, but Big E will turn on the New Day and go solo.
After losing, you think the power of positivity is that rough with Big E right now?
It's not that it's the power of positive. I think they're going to make it play out to where he's just so frustrated for really going nowhere and just being known as a tag team guy. And they're just going to make him go nuts and just start becoming a dominant force singles and trying to go for the Universal title on.
I could see that, or, I don't know about that, but I was thinking, or the NXT North American Championship, but why bring Big E backwards?
Well, yeah, I mean, but then also, I think a guy that they should pair him with if he does go the heel route would be Dolph Ziggler, because when he was managing Dolph Ziggler, gold. And then you threw AJ Lee in there or whatever. But when it was Dolph Ziggler and Big E, phenomenal. So I think it's going to go reversed. It's going to be Dolph saying, "I can help you out, get to where you want to be," and he's going to be with Big E.
Maybe, because if you remember how it ended, it was a pretty ruthless, aggressive ending with Dolph Ziggler and Big E. Because, I mean, Dolph basically treated him like a bag boy, and, Big E's like, no, sir, and whooped his tail. So,
Yep.
maybe that could be a possibility. And then something, once Big E gets big enough, they kind of like, he does what AOP did with Paul Ellery, and they just are like, no, we're good. We don't need you anymore.
Or
And
Seth
then-
Rollins with the Shield.
And then that's an instant rivalry for at least 2 months. You know how they book it. What do you think? Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's because he's done more with New Day. They've won more championships, but I don't know what's going on backstage that we don't know. Is there a feud between all three of them? It only time will tell on that.
Right.
I mean, anybody that's watched the up, up, down, down videos on YouTube, there's no way there's a rift between Xavier, Kofi, and Big E. They're as friends as can be. You see the way they act toward each other on those shows. It's strictly going to be a professional decision. Just turn Big E and take him as.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to think about it too. Every time they get a group, there's a group together. Just like the Rockers with Shawn Michaels and
Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty, where Shawn Michaels turned on him to then go after a solo career. Even the Dudley Boys, when Bubba turned on Devon, and the
Shield. Seth Rollins turned on the Shield to go singles.
Yeah, or your Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like it's gonna happen eventually. Just when they gonna do it? We know it should happen now. They should know it should happen now, but depends on. I mean,
Kevin Owens and Jericho is another one. Kevin Owens turned on Chris Jericho to do his own thing. It's just it's a running theme of just it.
So you might as well make it happen. But the next match we have is, of course, all hail the King, King Corbin versus Roman Reigns, the big dog, or the little puppy. Depends on what size you're on. What do you guys think? Yacht?
The problem with this is who's going to interfere first? Is King Corbin going to have his people come out and start helping him on the side, or is it going to be a straight up one-on-one match? Because we just seen it, not 2 weeks ago. King Corbin thought he had it. He had to bring his people in. Well, luckily the Usos was there to help Roman. I don't know where this one's going to go because depending on whose side interferes first.
Jay? Okay. Anyway,
boring as hell. We've seen this match 1,000 times already between SmackDown, Royal Rumble, before that, them dumping dog food on Roman, them dumping dog food on King Corbin. It's played out. Just end it and just stop. I don't care who wins. They're probably going to make Roman Reigns win, but it's such a pointless match to have. They've been doing it so many times. It's like the first match they had was great. It was a great match. End it there. I mean, if you want to do a little feud, fine, whatever. But it's prolonging to the point now where I see this match and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing this one. I ain't going to watch it. It's boring as hell. It's literally not a fun match to watch since we've seen it 1,000 times. It's just like Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black. The first match they had, great. Second match, great. They had a third match to split the tie or whatever. But guess what? There was no tie because Aleister Black won the 2 matches before it. So stop.
Yeah. I think, like I said before, I think Roman Reigns getting, I don't want to say overpush because it's not really a word I want to look at, but like I think Roman Reigns is getting That's the word I can. That's the only word I can think of. But overpushed, because like there's only so much you can push somebody as or on that. By the time they actually get going where they're going, like it's already done. Like the whole thing is already done and over with. There's nothing to improve on or there's nothing to expand on because they've either one beat everybody or two, just the scenario that they drew out and wrote out that was supposed to happen for 5 to 6 weeks ends in 3 weeks because maybe one of them got hurt or whatever. And Roman Reigns has always been in the middle of those, which, yes, he's a great dude. He's the big dog. It's my yard, but it's already been proven this is not your yard. Like, it's already been proven. It's not. You get one person, of course. Roman Reigns is a face. Corbin is a heel. Of course, Roman Reigns is going to win. Okay, of course, Corbin's going to have his lackeys come out whenever he does. He's already got 6 guys out there when he gets brought out to the ring. Because he can't freaking, manage to get himself down to the ring.
Yeah, and that's another thing that annoys me too. Just because you won the King of the Ring does not mean you need to have a King gimmick. We did this with King Booker. We're doing this with King Corbin. Can we stop this nonsense? Fine, you're the King of the Ring. You do not need to have a scepter and a crown and a cape and be carried to the damn ring like you're really royalty. You're a damn wrestler. Stop it. And this match, this rivalry, will go from King Corbin and Roman Reigns to King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode versus Roman Reigns and the Usos, and that'll just keep going and going and going until WrestleMania, unless they decide to make Roman challenge Bray Wyatt for the title.
Yacht Club?
That's pretty much it. You've pushed this guy so much from when the group broke.
Last WrestleMania.
Yeah. What is he really? Who has he beat since last WrestleMania that's been anything good?
Leukemia.
That's basically it.
I don't remember, honestly. I don't pay it. Like, after he was pushed so hard in the beginning, right after the whole Seth Rollins, I mean, that's what, 3 years ago? How long has it been since Seth hit them with chairs?
At least that long, because one of the guys is not even on the roster anymore. He's left and went to do his own thing.
He's in AEW as John Moxley. So, I mean, which we'll get into soon, guys. But, like, it's one of those things where, like, Jesus Christ, enough. Like, he still has the Shield logo on his vest with his Roman Reigns logo. Sorta. It just kind of incorporated his logo was the Shield, basically. Until they put in
worked out.
Until they put in like a broad shield for the actual Shield, Hounds of Justice.
All right. Now I'm going to introduce the first bit of controversy into our podcast here. Do I think Roman Reigns is a good wrestler? Sure. Do I think he deserves the push he's on? Absolutely not. And I'm sorry to say this, but everybody and their mother hated him before he announced he had leukemia.
Mm-hmm. You got to touch your camera down.
He was gone for a couple months. He came back. Everybody loved him. He was God's gift to everything. He was being cheered. He was no longer being booed, everything. Now he's getting all these wins, all of this, all of that. I'm sorry. I feel bad that you have leukemia. I really do. But you do not deserve the push you're getting because you came back from leukemia. I'm sorry. And just they're playing with the crowd that is cheering for him because he squashed leukemia and all this stuff. He doesn't deserve it. He deserves all the applause in the world for beating leukemia, but he does not deserve the push he's getting.
Okay. Controversy is bound in NSFW as well. And the one man that's going to bring it up is JayStunZ. All right,
I hold no tongue and I pull no punches.
All right. And then you got Yacht Club dancing in the background. Next match, of course, a guy that's been just stopped. He was getting pushed so hard as one of the big men, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. He's stopped now. Now he's going against Shinsuke Nakamura for an Intercontinental Championship. My opinion in this is I'm kind of glad they kind of stopped pushing Strowman in a way that it was just always raw, 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 raw. I'm raw and raw. I'm gonna do the, all this other crap. Like it was too much. Now to where they've settled him down, where he's actually concentrating on one person, where he's not demolishing that one person every night, because that person has Sami Zayn, that person has, who's the other guy that he has with him now? Cesaro, and so it's like a 3-on-1 moment where you can probably see in the future, even if Braun Strowman wins, which I think he is going to, unless they're going to have some angle of one of the other two interfering. But like literally, Braun Strowman's going to fight all three of those guys at Super Showdown. That's just how it's going to happen. But I think he's going to win. Once they've actually started slowing down Braun Strowman and actually kind of got him on a path to where he's just slowly moving forward, I think he's going to win the Intercontinental Championship, and then it'll just make the longevity of that group, whether they're going to keep that in a group or maybe Shinsuke, Kinshasha's, Sami Zayn. And then, anything can happen. But I think Braun Strowman's going to win. What do you think, Yacht?
Well, for one, Braun Strowman's already the Intercontinental Championship.
Well,
he won that.
To hold is what I'm saying. Sorry.
Oh, to hold. Well, yeah. Honestly, I don't think they're going to let... I don't know what their intentions with Shinsuke is, because he's come up, he's won, which one? The Raw Championship? It was either Raw or SmackDown. I think it was Raw. He's already won that, but why are you making him lose something he could probably potentially hold for a lot longer with a guy that should be going for the main championship, not an Intercontinental champion?
Right, and in that aspect, I think that yes, the whole big championship, and when we talk about the big championships, guys, it's the the WWE Championship and the Universal. Do I think Braun Strowman would be good with maybe the Universal Championship? Yes, or either or. But at some point, like I said, they're slowing his push down to where they're going to push him in a different area for right now. Because you think about it, man, there's so many big men. There's so many stars up at the top there to where, like, who's going to get it? Who should deserve it? In my eyes, I don't think that he's one of those guys in Vince's eyes. I just don't. Yes, he's the big man. He's Vince's typical wrestler, but he's not the big man, is what I'm saying. I mean, Drew McIntyre's same size as him, just a little skinnier. And he's going he's going to win against Brock at WrestleMania. Sorry, it's going to happen.
Well, yeah. You also got to look at it. How many times has Braun went against one of the big guys, Lesnar, any of that, and he's gotten hurt, and then he's been sidetracked for 6-8 months? How many times?
Quite a bit, actually. Every time he goes against a big guy, he gets hurt. Every time it's little guys, he destroys them.
So maybe they keep this hype up for a while of, well, he can beat all these little guys, and then finally, okay, now we've got him built to where we want him. Now let's take him and hit a big guy, and hopefully we'll let him get to that guy instead of being a little lower.
Right, Jay, what do you think?
I think Braun Strowman's going to win. To be 100% honest, for Super Showdown, I think it should have been Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Not even a title match, just Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Just something different that hasn't been seen yet, and people have been wanting to see forever. You want to do something to draw attention to Saudi Arabia. People have been wanting to see Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. Give it to him. Why are you going to waste your time giving it Goldberg? Or even then, do Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. You had Tyson Fury, a professional boxer, come in. Fine. You had a professional boxer throw a horrendous-looking punch that knocked Strowman out. He's not a wrestler. He's a boxer. I get it. But it was pathetic nonetheless.
All right, and we'll
Braun Strowman where he belongs in the main event picture and put the damn championship around his waist And then you could have took it from him. Fine. He doesn't have to hold it forever. But that man should have been champion already.
Okay, and we'll get into that in the next little bit here, guys, with the how we would have booked that. I agree with that totally. So we're all in agreement that Braun Strowman's probably going to retain his title. The last match for this before we get into it and get into how we should book, how we thought we should book, would be Kevin Owens and the Viking Raiders versus Seth Rollins and AOP. I'm kind of already sick of this going forward. Just because I think they're starting to draw it out way more than it should. The Viking Raiders, already, going against AOP, Seth Rollins going against, Kevin Owens, and then vice versa, and back and forth. I don't know who's going to win. I really want Kevin Owens to win because I hate Seth Rollins with a passion, but it is a whole Monday Night Messiah, and you got to remember Murphy's going to be out there too. So it's not just going to be, 1v1. It's going to be 2v1 and 2v3, no matter what it is. So, I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
I think eventually it's going to end up being Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and the Viking Raiders against Seth Rollins, AOP, and Murphy. I think Murphy will interfere, and then Samoa Joe will interfere. They're going to want to turn into a four-man, and then they're probably going to make the Monday Night Messiah and Disciple people win because whatever. I don't even care about the match anymore. It's another one of those things that's played out already. I mean, you made Seth Rollins an AOP. You made him dominant, fine. Now it's just, why don't we just add the whole Raw roster to Kevin Owens' team and bring people from NXT and SmackDown to be on Seth Rollins' team? Just make it a giant 20 versus 20 match or something. It's pointless.
Make it a Survivor Series match.
Yeah, it's an elimination match. It'll go for 4 hours, just that match itself.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, Bodie?
The only thing I can see is, depending on what's happened from this past Monday night, because if you watch Monday Night Raw, you see them kind of take it easy after he come out of the ropes and hit his head. So we don't know what kind of condition Samoa Joe's going to be in. So do they really push him to come in and interfere that week? Or is he really injured and he's going to be out for a while? We don't know what's going to happen with that. Honestly, I think something's going to happen and AOP is going to turn on Seth, maybe later on. But I don't know what's going to happen with these two right now.
Spoiler alert, supposedly Samoa Joe's coming back at Raw.
There you go. We'll see you on Monday then, won't we?
Yeah, that'll be what we have to watch and wait.
All right, so guys, we're gonna go through the matches. Each match we're gonna actually say, and we're gonna pick the champion, just because there could be different ways that we could have booked all this stuff. And we've already started with that, with Jay's suggestion of having Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman for this match for the Super Showdown. So where would you put Shinsuke Nakamura? I mean, Braun Strowman has the belt. I mean, you're basically gonna kick out two people that would have fought before. Is this seeing that maybe Shinsuke already still had the belt and Braun didn't win it yet, or what do you elaborate a little bit more, Jay?
Well, yeah, I mean, whether he had the title or not, as soon as I heard about Super Showdown, it was before Lesnar won the title. I was like, or not Lesnar, Strowman won the Intercontinental title. He should have been in the main event picture from the beginning. He should have had the title forever. I mean, they could have made him destroy Brock Lesnar to win the title instead of Seth Rollins. It would have been more believable. You have Seth Rollins beat him twice, but then you have Brock Lesnar run through all these other people. There's nothing special about Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, there's not. So there's so many other possibilities you could have done with that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe an interesting thing would have been, who's he got in his corner right now?
Cesaro and Sami Zayn.
Okay, so if you want to set the bar for a match, who was Cesaro's tag team partner?
I don't think Sheamus is coming back solo, though, man.
Bro,
Sheamus.
doesn't matter. I would have been like, that was my partner, and now all of a sudden you're with him. Or he could have been pissed off that Cesaro turned on the bar and went after Cesaro, and then would just set up a whole thing.
Yeah.
Sheamus versus Cesaro would be an epic match because that's what started the bar, wasn't it? Mick Foley said you guys against each other were ruthless.
Yeah, they did a
together
best
for
out of
so
7.
long. Right, they've been together for so long. I want to see that ruthless fight.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, and in words of the championships, tag teams, would you the New Day versus John Morrison and The Miz, and then of course the King Corbin versus Roman Reigns.
I would have probably added the Usos to that match somehow.
Make it a 3-way, six man.
Yep.
Okay. What about the tag team SmackDown Tag Team Championship? No?
That's what we were talking about, wasn't it?
No, SmackDown is New Day and John Morrison and The Miz.
Right. I said I would probably add Usos to the match.
For a triple threat?
Yeah, do 3 teams for the championship instead of, because you just brought the Usos back over to SmackDown. So why not throw them in there in the mix with John and the...
But Usos are still under punishment, kind of, right now.
Yeah, but well, they can't be under punishment because he was acquitted, so there's nothing left. But the thing is like, you put them in that match, right? Say somehow they make the Usos win. You know, New Day, whatever happens with them happens with them.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Usos as your tag team champions. Now you're still set in stone with this King Corbin Roman Reigns thing. So you have Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler start going after the Usos, and then eventually that turns into the 3-way the 6-man tag match at WrestleMania. Or you have Ziggler and Roode versus the Usos for the title at WrestleMania.
Okay, and then what about the you said the Kevin Owens, you add somebody and then add Murphy and...
Yeah, the Kevin Owens match is just you throw Samoa Joe in there because you know he's going to want to be in that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seth Rollins and AOP with Buddy Murphy. But I think eventually the Seth Rollins AOP Murphy group is going to be adapting another person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to translate into the Kevin Owens side picking up Rey Mysterio. Because if you remember back in the beginning when Kevin Owens was pissed off at Seth Rollins and the AOP, Mysterio is the one that gave him the pipe, and they beat him down with the pipe. Seth Rollins and AOP beat down Rey Mysterio in the ring with the pipe. So Mysterio will remember that, and he'll wind up going after that.
Okay. Bodie, how do you think you would have booked the Super Showdown? And you guys got to keep in mind everything that's happening right now with injuries and all that other stuff. I think some of these were just thrown together because...
I mean, okay, you're Bray Wyatt Goldberg. Why? You've had Bray Wyatt beat down The Miz, haven't you? You've had him beat down
Everybody.
Everybody, basically. So why are you bringing a legend into a show that one just makes no sense to me at all. Why do that? Then you're just going to have Goldberg turn around in, 2-3 weeks, a month, and go face somebody else. That one I don't see. The WWE Championship, Lesnar versus Ricochet, why? So Ricochet can just get humiliated, and then Brock can go face McIntyre at WrestleMania? I agree with Jay with the SmackDown. Why not bring the Usos in with it and let them have a triple threat match on that one? The Corbin and Reigns, it is getting old because we watched it just not 2 weeks ago. They just walked around the entire thing basically hitting each other. So the other two, I'm glad they're giving Strowman a different push than what they have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see Strowman staying Intercontinental for long. He's going to go after one of the big ones. Just depends on when. And then something's going to happen with Seth Rollins and AOP that Seth's going to they're not going to do what he wants, and he's going to take off and go do his own thing again. Because rumor has it he wants to go and slay the beast again for the championship.
Which is just, it's already overdone. Okay. I'm gonna probably, I mean, in words of, or I guess I don't even know what I'm thinking right now, but how I would probably book this would be a little bit similar to Jay and Yacht. but it's going to be a little bit different. Bray Wyatt, I mean, who's the one wrestler, and you guys can guess this too, who's the one wrestler he really hasn't messed with that is kind of in the limelight, but doesn't have a serious opponent? Any of you guys
From
guess?
SmackDown?
Yeah, from where Bray's at, his side. Who's on there that really hasn't had anything that could probably live up to, or be not as scared as anybody else was? It's almost like Daniel Bryan. You guys think of
Otis.
him? Not Otis. Tag team, which would be a really weird match because I think Otis would be scared as shit. But anyway,
I take it back. I would add, instead of the Usos, I would add Otis and Tucker to that match and make it a three-way for the tag team title. Heavy Machinery deserves a push, dude. They really do. They're a good team and they're funny as hell.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And might I add, if you look at Otis's Instagram, that dude can cook. He's got some crazy dishes on his Instagram.
You haven't seen him?
No, I know, but I'm saying the dude can cook.
That's all.
And then with that, you split up Fire and Desire, and you have Mandy Rose be their manager.
Or you have Mandy. Yeah, you have Mandy Rose take probably a walloping from her, because at one point it was the whole storyline of Mandy Rose has this crush, and her crush is Sonya Deville. Like, she crushed on her, and it was one of those things where they were going to actually do the lesbian angle on it. And I don't know why they didn't. It would have been a good little angle, but everybody already knew it was probably going to come anyway. Because Desire. Hey, okay. We won't go any too far. But it'd probably be Bray Wyatt versus I can't remember the guy's name anymore. Honestly. I mean, I honestly would even have Bray Wyatt in this. Not gonna lie. Because there's really nothing happening. Yeah, but where's the other tag team championships? I mean, there's the,
I'm not talking about the tag team. I'm saying the main titles you have to have on the show. That's got to be a thing for Saudi Arabia. You have to have the main titles on the show. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but there's already one. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They're just squash matches, either or. I would have picked somebody else besides, Goldberg and Ricochet. I wouldn't know how to book them, honestly.
What if you flip-flop them two? What if you give Ricochet, Bray Wyatt, and Goldberg back to Lesnar?
Goldberg would just... Goldberg beat Lesnar in like freaking what?
15 seconds?
15 seconds? And then to have Goldberg turn around and lose?
The whole point of having Ricochet in that match is so that he can hit the high points and the crazy moves to get the crowd happy for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the thing too with the Bray Wyatt Goldberg match is, he's like, Bray Wyatt, you're next. But we all know he's not going to be Bray Wyatt. He's going to be the Fiend. So now, we've seen him be the Fiend most of his matches, except for when he faced The Miz, he was Bray Wyatt. So how do you even... Like, they're making the Fiend the most dominant thing. He takes the pain, and all of a sudden he feels no pain. But if Goldberg's challenging Bray Wyatt could easily be beaten. So is that what they're trying to do? They're going to try to kill the Bray Wyatt character and make him go straight to the Fiend? I don't know. I mean, it's almost like Finn Balor with the Demon. He's always Finn Balor, and then he's the Demon every once in a while. Now you got somebody who's the Fiend all the time and is Bray Wyatt every once in a while. So I don't know.
As far as the other, all right, Obi. As far as the other matches, Kevin Owens or Viking Raiders, yes, if Samoa Joe's not hurt, and it might be this is why it is, because he is hurt, but to having Samoa Joe and just making it an 8-man tag team match, or bringing it in to where it's Samoa Joe and just having the Viking Raiders versus AOP, and then to where it could be still a short match. It could still be a 10-minute match because then you just come in there and Murphy hits somebody with a chair, and that's when AOP starts getting mad at Murphy because he's the newest member and he's the flunky, or he's the whatever, and somebody to take out on him, because they're not going to take it out on Seth Rollins yet. It's not going to happen. But as far as like the Braun Strowman Shinsuke Nakamura, having this match just kind of solidify the end of the little rivalry that's going on right now, because Braun Strowman's already beaten Shinsuke Nakamura for the championship. Now it's basically just a retain. Once he retains it once, then it's usually done. If they go any further with it, then I'm going to be surprised. But a lot of these matches are basically a finish to what they're going to start setting up for WrestleMania. Just like Corbin and...
To answer your own question, too, it's like you mentioned how they don't have the other tag team titles there. It's because you have half your tag team champions in that final match.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins and Murphy. So Murphy's not there, so you have Seth Rollins and AOP. That's why there's no tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they took it away. But I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to bring this up. They had Natalya versus Lacey Evans last show in Saudi Arabia. It's the first time the women ever had a match in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it now?
There is no women's match in Saudi Arabia.
They had one. It was Natalya and Lacey Evans the last time they were in Saudi Arabia. It was the first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia. They better have one on this card.
I'm saying that there isn't one yet.
They better have one. That's all I'm saying.
Which on the 22nd, when we talk more about the Super Showdown, we'll actually let you guys know. I mean, because there should be at least two, man. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's still a country over there where they're making strides and they're doing the first evers and all that other stuff, but they need to have, now you've done the first ever, now you need to have two. And you need to consistently have two every time we go over there. Period. I mean, you can't go backwards now. Even if it's one, okay, that's fine. But I mean, as far as any other bookings, like it would be King Corbin and Reigns, I think this is the end of their showdown too, until they get more into the multiple man matches. I mean, I could see them keep going with it, but now it's going to be King Corbin and Cesaro, in there, or Sheamus comes back and the first person he kicks the head off of is Cesaro, or maybe the first person he kicks the head off of is King Corbin. And he's not affiliated with Roman Reigns in any way, shape, or form, but he comes up and kicks the head off of King Corbin, which then Cesaro's like, bro, what the heck? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then he's like, you know what? Screw you too. Kicks his head off too. And then that starts a whole nother match to where, yes, now it'll be Sheamus versus those three, but then at the other end, Roman Reigns is still in the background and be like, hey, they kicked my butt too. I got your back if you need me. Which then could be, that could run till June. So, however WWE books their matches is beyond us. We don't understand it sometimes, but we do understand most of what's going on because we can see the bigger picture. We do have a few questions for you guys to think about as we're getting ready to get out of here. What do you guys think about, and this is something that we can touch on more probably next show because we'll have a little bit more time, but first question is the return of the Rated R Superstar. These guys are writing stuff in the show notes and I'm just talking. The return of the Rated R Superstar. Think about that, guys. What of the return of Edge? And the second question for that, the second part to that question is, why did Randy Orton do what he did? So, I mean, it was vicious. If you guys haven't checked it, go watch Raw, last week's Raw, and go check it out. Like, it was vicious. He beat the living crap out of him with chairs. And all he said was, I'm sorry. Really?
And then the following week when he was supposed to explain himself, he says, I can't do this, and walked away.
So there's questions you should think about. The next one, who should get the push more? Who should get a bigger push? Who is the next superstar? And I don't know if this is where you guys are going with this, but who should get the next push? It can be NXT. It can be Raw, SmackDown, any one of your choice. We're going to have our answers for you next time. on the 22nd.
I mean, I already said it. I already pointed. I think heavy machinery should get more of a push than they've had. So feel free, guys. Anybody you feel could be tag team, singles, lady, whatever. Anybody you feel should be getting more of a push than they've had. Let us know.
Mm-hmm. Now, one more question. All right. One more question, guys, for you guys can think about. The guys and the male and female who won the Royal Rumbles, Drew McIntyre and Charlotte Flair. You guys let us know what you guys think, of course, in the description and in the stuff below, where you guys can comment and whatnot. What you guys think about those questions. Those questions will be in the description below, along with all our social medias. But it's about that time, guys, where we're gonna have to get out of here. I don't let Bodie.
Can I drop a pipe bomb before we go? Do it CM Punk style.
Like after we tell everybody where we can be found? Like the last thing we say?
Like right now, so it can linger.
Go.
Shayna Baszler will be on Raw very, very soon.
Mic drop.
With that pipe bomb, guys, this is where we can be contacted or notified or even just reached over on wherever we're at. Yacht Club, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you at, sir.
You can find me at the Yacht Club, underscores between the and yacht, at Twitch, or you can find me on Twitter at the same exact Twitter handle. Feel free to drop me your answers. Well, Twitter handle, whatever. You can drop me it there, and we'll get your answers on the next time we come back.
JayStunZ, where can they find you at, sir?
Hey man, if you feel like twiddling the Twitter, I'm JayStunZ on Twitter. I'm JayStunZ on Twitch. I'm a variant of JayStunZ everywhere. I believe Instagram, I'm JayStunZ. I'm literally JayStunZ everywhere you go. People, like I said, know me as Jay or Stunzy. So no matter where I go, no matter what I am, you're gonna see JayStunZ one way or another.
JayStunZ it is. Guys, you guys can find me anywhere. You guys can see Obionex2. You look my name up. I'm everywhere. You guys can find me on Twitch /Obionex2, Twitter /Obionex2, Instagram /Obionex2, and Facebook, Obi Fans, I think. Maybe. It might be Dark Side Nation. But anyway, and YouTube too, guys. Go check me out on YouTube as well. But I guess all the information will be down in the description below. Guys, from all of us here, this is episode 1. I appreciate you. These guys appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast. See ya. Bye, guys.